realise that there is a collision where things just align. It was more than the music and the drugs, it was how we felt at the time. Britain was tough. He was living under a rule of Margaret Thatcher. It was really difficult as a young man to make any money, let alone get on that ladder to get a house or a car. We were struggling. I can do this. I don't need to be a banker or a businessman. I can make something out of this scene. And so many people did.
Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of the Ibiza Hall of Fame podcast, presented by myself and Big Al here. Today we have a very special guest, a man that doesn't really need much of an introduction when it comes to house music. He's responsible for the expansion of the Balearic beat and really putting Ibiza on the map. Welcome, Paul. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good
thank
to
you.
See you.
Thank you for pitching us up at your lovely hotel. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, the Soho Sanctum. It's a boutique hotel right in the middle of town. Very rock and roll. It also supports art, film, fashion, tech industries. We have a lot of events and of course music. Mark Fuller, one of the main guys behind it, his history in own clubs. The Iron Maiden guys, Roger Taylor, and of course Tama the actor. So we've got a great collective. We have a London Film Festival. We're dealing in fashion here and supporting the community, which is important to all of us. So that's why I got involved, and I really like working here and meeting people, and perfect.
How have you incorporated your music into the hotel in the background?
The genre of music played through the course of the day starts off with some of our early music that we heard on the island, actually. So we got the Cafe Del Mar music in the mornings, and then we pick it up with house music in the afternoons, and in the evening we play classics from rock to pop to dance. So the program and the music works really well here.
Okay, so going back to your story right at the beginning, how did you first get involved with music?
Well, my dad's a musician.
Okay.
So I was around music from a very early age, and then from there it just developed to a point where I wanted to play music, make music, and out of it, my dad encouraged me at the time. I was 16, and it really grew.
Okay.
Got a bit of rain.
So how did the DJing come about after that?
So the DJing came about through a friend of ours, Trevor Fung, was very instrumental in helping me get a break at the beginning. He played at a place called Rumours in Covent Garden. I was a friend along with Ian St Paul. Oh, look at that. And we would go and support Trevor. And in one evening he couldn't make it, so he asked me to stand in. And I did. And from then onwards, I kind of got the bug. The owner of the venue said to me, "Do you want your own night?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool." And that's where it started.
So what type of music were you playing at this time?
Well, at that time we were playing jazz funk.
Yeah, jazz funk.
You know, that was the real sound of the moment. And Trevor went on to work with Al, and me and Ian went on to do our thing. And then me and Trevor came back with Cole Cox and started a club in South London.
Ziggy's, yeah. Ziggy's.
Yeah.
I don't remember it now.
I know that hip hop played a big part in your music scene in the early years. How influential was going out to America when you started DJing and those early to New York?
I was very influential when I went to America because I got exposed to the hip hop community. Chuck Chill Out, Red Alert. At the time, there was Frankie Crocker. These were the DJs on the radio that you would hear play this music. And then I met up with Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa, these early pioneers, before I actually started working in that industry when I was working with Def Jam and Profile Records. I was looking after Run DMC, Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, LL Cool J. That was my job here, was to take them all the clubs and promote their records.
So now going on to Ibiza, when you first went out there, obviously it's a very famous story, where you going out there with Danny Rampling and the likes, Nicky Holloway as well. How did you see the change in the Balearic sound to what you'd previously seen before? When you first went out there?
Ian and all my friends were in Ibiza, working on the beaches, giving out flyers and hustling in bars, doing what you do during the summer. A lot of English would go there and work the summer. I was studying to be a chef, so I had a week's holiday, and it was my birthday. It was this time many years ago.
Late 80s, I should imagine.
Yeah, it was. It was 87.
Yeah.
And that's strange because my birthday's in 2 days' time. So I'm like, yeah, it was actually this time.
You remember it because it was your birthday.
Yeah. So we went, I said to Nicky, I didn't know Danny, I said to Nicky and Johnny, listen, I'm going to Ibiza for my birthday. Do you want to come? They said, yeah. And Nicky said to me, is it all right, I'll bring my mate? And Danny was a builder. He worked on a building site.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, of course, not a problem. And out of that moment became that story. We didn't know what would ever happen. You go on holiday and no one knows what's going to happen. And Ian said to me, you got to come and hear this DJ. Yeah. And I was like, okay, let's go. And enter Alfredo. And Alfredo really was the pioneer.
Yeah.
And as
there was a few. There was also PP and Cesar.
That's right.
There was a few back then. Yeah.
That's right. So we would go to the Coup Club for Cesar. We'd go to Pasha for Pippi, and we'd go to Amnesia for Alfredo. But we would always kind of end up in Amnesia. That was the last stop, and that's where really the roots of Balearic came from, because Alfredo played different music to the other two. They were more geared towards house, up-tempo. Alfredo was playing from Cyndi Lauper to the Wooden Tops to Bob Marley. It was a real journey in terms of music, and I think that's what inspired a lot of us.
Well, his closing track for many years was City Lights, William Pitt. I mean, it's not a track that you would normally associate, but it works so fantastic with the sun rising and the city lights. I mean, it was a great track. I mean, I used to love that. It was a closing track.
Yeah, and those kind of records you would hear only there.
Only there, yeah.
You wouldn't even think of. Cyndi Lauper did a cover of Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On," my favourite all-time track. I'd never heard it until I'd gone to that club, and I never thought I'd be dancing to that record like everyone else. Yeah. But he would turn you on to new music. He would, the way he programmed his music, and as Alan said, he'd end on a record that no one even heard of this guy, yet everyone loved the tune.
Brilliant tune. But I've done a couple of these pods now, so what my story in it was, when we started doing the weekly parties out there, obviously we worked with Alfredo, we worked with PPM, we worked with Cesar. So, but what happened was we were bringing the DJs from London who were playing house music.
Yeah.
And
who did you bring?
Trevor, all the Raylock, all these people came. We took Cole Cox on a busman's holiday. I think we were the first ones to ever give him a gig out. Literally, the flight and accommodation, that was it. So, I mean, I can tell you some stories what Tommy did to him and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy. I mean, how crazy Tommy was.
Out on your pod, I'm pretty sure.
Basically, the way I explain it is that the London DJs that had a particular housey sound, and then with the Balearic sound, it created a whole new sound. It was like the mixing of two cultures coming together, and it gave you that new Ibiza creation of music.
Yeah.
So what was the Balearic sound? How could you describe it to someone who doesn't know?
So And that's a good question, because I think people have different interpretations. But the Balearic beat is a collective of all kinds of music. And I'm touched on it. He would play Bob Marley. He'd play pop with Cyndi Lauper and Tina Turner. He'd play Run DMC next to Kool Moe Dee. And then he'd play a couple of house records, and then British indie music like the Wooden Tops. So what is that music? It has to live under one banner, because we all like to categorise music. So enter Balearic beat.
G-Bar-O.
G-Bar-O. I mean, Split Second was a Belgian band. You know, I mean, Wooden Tops was signed to Rough Trade, which is an indie label. So it was, and it was also, I think, Balearic beat is a more than a sound. With Alfredo, it was a way and an approach to how he played his music. You can play anything under that banner of Balearic beat.
Yeah.
You know, and he did, and that inspired us, because prior to that, music was all in its genres.
They were.
Okay.
You couldn't play house music with jazz funk. First of all, you can't
Two
mix
different
it.
beats.
The tempos are there, and also people at that time were going to these clubs listening to certain sounds. So when we rebooted Ziggy's and played Balearic beat, we was just playing all the classics that we were inspired by and added to it. So then you add your own flavour as a DJ on what you like, what you want to play.
How did the drug explosion also affect all of this happening at the same time?
It was a head-on collision, like in the '60s when you had the so-called Summer of Love. '88 was the second Summer of Love.
The vintage year, I call it.
Yeah.
I call it the vintage year. 88.
Vintage year, there you go. It was a collision, and sometimes you realise that there is a collision where things just align. It was more than the music and the drugs. It was how we felt at the time. Britain was tough. You was living under a rule of Margaret Thatcher. It was really difficult as a young man to make any money, and let alone get on that ladder to get a house or a car. We were struggling. People were struggling in this country. So what happened was when we brought this sound back, it reared its head in a good, positive way. People rolled up their sleeves and thought, you know what, I can do this. I don't need to be a banker or a businessman. I can make something out of this scene. And so many people did.
Yeah.
I mean, that explosion was a whole new era. I remember one of the owners of one of the clubs at Broadway Boulevard, End of Line, saying to us in '88, "Oh, this won't last very long. This music." It's still going.
Still going.
It's still going. It's unbelievable.
See,
it's the longest genre of all time, isn't it?
Yeah. There was, don't get me wrong, there was dance culture before '87.
Yeah.
There was.
Yeah, it was.
But the difference was, you'd be listening to Kraftwerk, the DJ would be in the corner, the guys would be at the bar chatting away, and the girls were dancing around the handbags.
Okay.
Enter '87, suddenly everyone would face the DJ. Everyone was one, like you're going to church.
Everybody
and it was
danced.
all about, exactly, the look you was wearing, from baggy jeans to Converse to a baggy top. Generally, people had long hair. There was a whole style and look and image. And the DJ suddenly became the focus point, because everyone was dancing, everyone was listening to music. We're all on the same page. It wasn't like that prior to '87. So club culture as it's known today started then. The only difference is now is this.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're all looking at the DJ, we're listening to the music, we're now swaying, and you're doing look at me, look at me, look at the DJ.
I still don't
and the
quite
DJ
get it.
probably dances more now than the crowd.
Oh, I
He
still don't
camera.
quite get it. It's dance music. I'm from the era of the early '90s, late '80s, where we did dance. It was dance music, so we danced.
Of course.
And I'm thinking that you've got thousands and thousands of people with a phone in the air. It miffs me. I mean, everyone to their own, but it's still a bit of a myth to me.
Yeah.
Well, there wasn't no phones.
There wasn't no.
So you were in see, the thing is, if you're in the moment without a phone, you get a completely different feeling. Turn your phone off for 4 days and don't touch it and see how you feel.
Yeah.
You're just, you've got rid of so much stress that you don't even know you've got until you park the phone. And we were in the moment. You're just lost in music.
It was always
smiling
about
with
the
your
music.
friends.
It was always
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
the
of
music.
course. It's always been about the music. It starts with the music.
Yeah. I think now in Ibiza as well, there's quite a few different promoters and clubs that are really trying to push the no phone policy. There's a new
Yeah.
club I think that's just been opened called
I don't think it's gonna work.
Actually,
Well, we
see
did.
if
We're
it
addicted
works.
to them. That's the trouble.
We did a Perfecto Records party last year at Pikes. We had about 1,700 people there, and to that point, you're no phones. If you get caught with your phone out, you'll get a warning. If we catch you again, you're asked to leave.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're in that moment. You're like, okay, I'll keep it in my pocket. Universe now do it. You know, in their second room, they take your phone off you as you go in.
Really?
They put it in a little cupboard.
Unbelievable.
They give you a ticket, just like it used
Like
to
put
be.
your coat in.
cloakroom.
Yeah, like a cloakroom.
And then and they
Amazing.
do it, and you're again.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's a new thing for me.
Yeah. It's definitely, I think, good for everyone.
Yeah. So going back to your story about the Balearic time, how did you manage to push the Balearic beat around the UK? Let alone London, you brought it back with you, and then you moved it around.
Well, I was resident at Spectrum on Monday, which was Heaven, and then which was Acid House, and then Future was on Thursday in a smaller club at the back, which was Balearic. So we already had a built-in scene because Ian, I was a DJ and was the promoter, just like.
Same thing, yeah. Me and Tommy doing West London,
You have a built-in crowd that comes, support and love what you're doing, and it just started to get bigger. So I'd say to you, listen, you've got to see this club. You've got to hear this music. And you'd come down on a Monday and go, fudge, man, this is amazing. Then you would go and tell your friend, and it was word of mouth.
It was word of mouth.
And
Flyers and word of mouth.
We're talking about Monday and Thursday. We're not talking about Friday. Clubs were Friday and Saturday. We didn't. I would DJ at the raves in the fields at the weekends and do our own clubs. And then we did Loud Noise with Lisa Loud Noise on a Tuesday. So suddenly, like Alan was in Ibiza running 6 parties, we were running 3 parties, and I was DJing at the weekends. And this wasn't my full time. I had a job. I was a chef.
We all had a job back then. We all had a job back then.
Me, I was, as you do, but you don't care because you love it, because you're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah. So after that, you've then taken it not just around the UK,
Taking it around the world.
but taking it around the world, which is obviously now how do you incorporate the word to mouth kind of.
Well, it's not anymore, is it? It's this, isn't it? Now it's not word of mouth anymore. It's changed. The whole thing's changed, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Look. You can't get away from change. The smart person in the room is the person, in my opinion, who embraces change.
Yeah.
You don't have to like change. I've seen the art of DJing move away from vinyl, playing long sets,
CDs.
telling the story. But now there's a new style of DJing, and the new style of DJing is different. It still moves the crowd. It's still DJing, but it's moved away from what it traditionally was. Now, you can do a lot more now as a DJ because there's a lot more gadgets that you can use. You can do live remixing. You can re-engineer a record and restructure a record live. So and that you may not like that, but that's embracing change. And that's what you see generally in life.
In your Ibiza story, basically, was it Cream were you a resident at Cream? Was that your first big sort of breakers?
No, so I was a resident at Pasha. Every Tuesday was Perfecto.
Okay.
Okay.
and every Thursday was Cream at Amnesia. So I was resident at 2 places, and then we would do Coup, which was called Privilege.
Privilege at the time, yeah.
We did.
He ruined it, didn't he? Fella, he ruined it. I mean, the whole time. I mean, I did it for 2 years in '96, '97, but it was never the same from the boys that owned it from Santander. They were a different class.
Yeah. Have you seen it now?
And I knew that he was going to turn it into an unbelievable place because he does what he does, doesn't he?
It's incredible.
Yeah. No, I
Really
knew.
is next
Have you
level.
been?
He always said he was going to buy the other fella out, the guy that was running it was Privilege. It's a shame, really, because they lost a lot of momentum, and he got shut for lots of years. And I mean, you know, back in my day, shut in '91 when the roof blew off. We had to go to Pasha because we had no club. There was no coup in '91. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
So it was basically Perfecto and then Cream.
No, so we would do a one-off every year at Privilege. Me, Sasha, Digweed, and Cole, and that was the Perfecto party. But every Tuesday, and apart from one Tuesday, which I never forget, because that morning I woke up, strangely enough, the house that we rented for the summer, I turned on the TV, and this was the end of the day, and the beginning of the day in New York was the Twin Towers.
Yeah,
on
I was
9/11.
out there.
Wow.
I was out.
And it was the weirdest thing, because why would I turn on the TV, which I've never done?
Yeah.
And that's why I can remember it as clear as the day, that I sat there. No one saw the first tower, what had happened at that time. It was just the news. And they said, oh, a little aircraft had gone into it. And then that second tower, I watched that as it happened. So we cancelled the night in respect of what was going on, because it was global news, and it was just too much. And that was the only Tuesday.
I was doing a party that week there. We called it Pasha in Shades. It was a sunglasses party. It was first of its type. And yeah, I remember that thinking, oh my God, we had done the party, and it was the day after that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty crazy times that was.
So I'm guessing that's probably one of the most memorable times at
What, that
Pasha.
I didn't play?
Didn't play.
It's one you brought up
Yeah.
anyways.
My best show was the one I didn't actually play.
But what do you have any memorable shows?
No, I
from your
mean,
days at Pasha?
we look, Pasha at that time was.
I thought it was the best club in the world at that time.
Yeah,
I did,
it really was. So to have your own residency on the island, that was my first residency before Cream, was a big deal, because it was you only had the local DJs, as we've mentioned, playing there. They'd never had an English DJ. I don't know how they accepted it.
They didn't. I can tell you a story about that. I mean, Alfredo, Pepe, and Cesar always turned the amps down on my DJs. This is from like 1990 onwards, and I had so many rows with all of them. I said, stop doing that to our DJs, because what they used to go on at 4 o'clock in the morning and whack it up. And I go, please stop doing that, because they treated us to begin with as strangers, and like we shouldn't really be there. And it wasn't until after a couple of seasons of doing it with them, they accepted that this is here to stay.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's my point. Change. They were and
They were fighting it.
I don't want to sit here and put anyone down, because Alan,
They're all friends of mine now.
did.
Yeah, they're all friends of mine.
No, exactly what he said. I got a bunch of stories about they didn't want us on the island. They were very resentful, and they didn't want to change.
It was change.
They wanted that, and you could see that was not going to be there for long. The British were coming.
Yeah.
In
And we
force.
came big time, didn't we?
And we did, and good and bad, right? But we came because of them, because they didn't realise we were coming, because they were so good. It was. I used to love listening to those three DJ. It was inspiring. It was creative. It was like a breath of fresh air. So of course we were coming for that reason. So instead of them embracing it and going, wow, they got frightened of it and didn't want it, rather than going, oh wow, they're all coming to support me because they love what I'm playing.
Yeah.
I tried to explain that to Alfredo, because
But
I know
now they're all all of us are all powers of all of them. I mean,
Well, yeah, of
unfortunately, Alfredo's no longer with us, but I mean, on Monday we're gonna give one to PP.
and please send him my regards.
We'll send him your regards. Yeah.
He's because he's been. I went and saw him with Charlie. He was DJing at Charlie's Chester's one of his parties, and when I asked him he was DJing, and he told me, I was like, I will definitely be there.
And he still does the funk. He works with Vaughan in the Funky Room. He's done that for a long time as well.
That's that in Passion.
Well, no, what they did. I mean, the Pasha thing stopped, and now they've got a bar in Ibiza town up the top end, up past the Gay Street. Yeah. So we're actually filming on the roof of their bar on Monday.
I'll come to that.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun. So talking about Perfecto, because obviously you're not just a DJ, superstar DJ. You're a producer, you're a label owner, and now a hotel owner. So there's lots of bows, lots of strings to your bow. But one of my all-time faves of yours is the Lemon remix. I mean, for me, that was it was fantastic. It still is one of my faves to this day. I mean, how did that come about? I mean, you working with U2, how did that come about?
So they reached out. They asked me to do a remix on a couple of their songs. First one was Mysterious Ways, and then they asked me to do Even Better Than the Real Thing. So I was speaking to them on the phone, and I got a lot of respect from them, because I said to them, look, if you really want this to work for the dance floor, I've got to start from scratch and just keep two things: the guitar and the vocal. There's no drums, there's no bass, so there's two members of the band that are not
being
on it.
used.
I want to put a female singer on it, on backing vocals, and Bono was like, okay, yeah, and I was like, okay, now it's on. And then we did it. I spoke to Edge about the guitar, because he was like, there's a little bit of tuning out, and I was like, honestly, I can't hear it, you're an expert, I'm not, but it works. And that's a big move for someone.
A rock band. They were a rock band.
The
biggest band in the world probably at the time.
Yeah. So they let me get on with it, and the record became bigger than the original. So that's when the doors opened to go on tour with them, to start remixing more stuff with them, and enter Lemon, the new. So I'm on tour with them all around the world. They just finished
that tour. Had a giant Lemon, didn't it?
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
So I said to them, they wanted me to remix. I said, just need the vocal now, because Steve and I wanted to put a big trancey riff, because most rock singers, they're not soulful. They're more edgy and rock. Mick Jagger, one of the greatest, he's a rock singer.
Yeah.
Bono's got soul. So Bono's vocals work much better on dance music.
Yeah.
So Lemon, you could feel the soul in the vocal, and I felt that.
First time I heard it, I thought, this can't be Bono.
Yeah.
That's my first thought.
So I wanted to bring that out in the record, and I thought it should be trance. So it's a real melodic trance riff with his vocal floating in and out, and it worked.
Worked fantastic, mate. So I would say it's one of my all-time faves.
Who were some of your favourite people to work with? I know you've done a lot of remixes, like Madonna and etc. Massive Attack, Unfinished Sympathy is probably my favourite, to be honest with you, out of what you've done.
Yeah,
it's been like the easiest to work with, would you say?
Happy Mondays says it all for me, because they allowed us, as we were producing them, so it's different to remixing.
We had them in Ibiza in 1990 in Coup.
What?
At Happy Mondays, we had them out there. I remember that place taking 10 E's.
Have you seen that poster? It's popped up.
Oh, no,
yeah, we got that poster, the one I showed you. Happy Mondays at the Coup Club.
Yeah, that was us. That was the trip we did out there in 1990.
Yeah.
Chester, Tommy, me. It was all that. That's what it was.
Was that then?
Yeah.
Yeah. God. Yeah. Do you remember that show?
I was there. They're all off their tits, mate. I mean, you wouldn't believe how much they're off their head.
I don't remember much of it, to be honest with you. But no, I mean, in terms of producing, you're in there with a band, with the artist. In terms of remixing, you're generally just there without the act. So you're doing. I always explain to the band, the artist, the label, how I see it and what I'm going to do, because you do want to keep the integrity of the artist,
Yeah.
or at least I do, but you've got to make it work for the dance floor. Otherwise, what's the point of hiring me? There's no,
Yeah.
if you want me
It's
to
a bit
do
of both, isn't it? It's a bit of, yeah.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
So and one of the questions I like to ask DJs, who's your favourite DJ other than yourself?
No, I'm not my favourite DJ.
No.
No. My favourite DJ is a DJ from Argentina, Hanan,
Okay.
that I came across many years ago. Yeah, do you know Hanan?
I don't know
Catania?
Hanan.
Yeah,
Tell me about him.
He is, first of all, he's just a really nice man, but musically very talented.
Okay.
He's been DJing for over 30 years. He's got great taste in music. He plays longer sets. His arrangement structure, the story he tells for music's great, and he's become more and more popular internationally.
I don't know. I've never.
Yeah, you
heard of
should
him.
check him out. He's the best way of describing him is he is the equivalent to Diego Maradona
Okay.
in the
Their music.
DJ world,
Fantastic.
in
fantastic.
Argentina.
There's been a few good Argentinians.
He's a star.
Alfredo was
Alfredo's
Argentinian.
obviously
Yeah.
the big
And
Argentinian.
Angel, he was another one.
Yeah.
There's been a few Argentinians. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll look into it.
Look into him and hear his set.
So how often do you go back to Ibiza nowadays?
Every year, and so I've got one more show there at Amnesia this year, and like all of us, we got friends there.
Yeah.
It's changed. You see the difference, but you have your little places that you go to, whether it's lunch or you pop
That's
by.
another question he's going to ask you about.
Yeah. So what we usually do at the end of these podcasts is we have a little quick fire round where I was asking you who your favourite legends are, top 3 legends, your
Doesn't have to
favourite
be
restaurant,
DJs, it
your
could
favourite
be
place to
people.
stay, and well, your favourite DJ as well, which you've already answered. So
Favorite DJ, I've told you.
yeah, top 3 legends of Ibiza.
Top 3 legends of Ibiza. Tony Pike's number 1, without a doubt. I mean, he was very inspiring, and I stayed at his hotel when I couldn't afford it, and he gave me a break. But that was the period of just after George had done his video, because I was promoting Wham. So they did Club Tropicano there. Sade I was promoting also. She was there. Grace Jones. So that was a big moment for me. Javi, who runs Mambo, is just a true gentleman. I've known him for many years and always wanted to support him and his kids. And then a strange one, but I have to say Martin, who owned Amnesia. Right?
You're Martin, yeah.
Yeah, and why? Because he didn't get the whole DJ moment. Prior to Change, Alfredo was there, and suddenly things were happening on that island where the DJ was now getting paid more money.
Yeah.
The different tourists were coming, and he didn't understand it, but he did go with it. And I would play there every Thursday. We would talk about it after, and I'd try and explain to him, because when you're stuck on that island and you don't leave that island all summer, you're seriously in a bubble.
Yeah.
You don't know, or you're not watching the news. You're just trapped.
Yeah.
And it's not always a good thing.
Yeah.
And when you live on the island all year, generally January, a lot of the locals take January off and travel. So he would only travel in January and be in this bubble. So I would sit and talk to him about what's coming, what's happening, be aware of this, that, and he would listen. So I credit where credit's due.
So he would be your third.
He's my third.
We had an interesting chat with Alex P yesterday about.
Yeah, he chose the mad bear lady. Used to have the bear on her back, which we all remember her. She was like the crazy lady dancing in front of the DJ. I mean, which is and I've forgotten about her, and it just reminded me of her. Who else did he say?
He said Tanit.
Oh, Tanit, who used to walk around with his cock out all day long in Coo. I mean,
I don't know that guy.
I mean, he's still there. He's still there. He's still there. He's still there. He's unbelievable. He's about 300 years old now. Unbelievable. And he also said that always impassioned. Nino, he looked like Father Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
and we all called him Father Christmas, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's what we called him.
And I saw about a year ago, it must have been, a photo of him.
He was old then.
Yeah. Well, he'd come to Pasha every Tuesday. His English wasn't great. And we would always have a smile and a high five.
He loved it.
And he was always on the dance floor at my club.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday he was there. And he must have been in his 60s. And that's 20, 30 years ago.
Mine was Brasilio because he gave us the big break in 1990. He gave us parties, individual parties, but we actually started the Mad Mondays at Coo, so he was my number one. Javier, me and Javier known each other forever. It's good that we had one crossover there with Javier. Me and Javier created the pre-party.
It was your final.
I'm trying to think who else I said.
I think you said Matutus as your
well,
final.
Matutus, not because without Matutus, there would never have been the island as it is. I mean, that family borrowed the money to the poor Spanish people to build hotels. It wouldn't have been a tourist island without Matutis. Yeah. And now, look what he's done now. He's got 3 of the super clubs in the world. So however, if you like what he's done or you don't like what he's done, he's still been probably the most influential person on that island.
Yeah.
And I remember his son in 1990 being in Coo, a bit of a playboy, and he was working in Coo at the time. It was quite funny, and he's the son of the richest guy on the island. So he definitely
live on the island.
The son, yeah, I think.
No, Matutis, does he?
Well, Bell, he's Jewish background, but they're not Ibethinko, but they're from the island, aren't they? I don't know where they originally came from, but they're Spanish Jewish people.
Let me ask you a question. Favorite restaurant?
Lots, but I've got. Well, I say two. I love El Chiringuito on Escavalat, and I've always liked it even before Jonathan had it. So it was somewhere when I did the beaches, I would stop.
Sacapella?
I love Sacapella. I liked it before when Javier had it, but I've been since Javier's got it. It's just a great venue, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I tell you, if you like the Spanish cuisine, I love Esbardado, which is you've got it's all Spanish. Fantastic fish, and the view is Esvedra.
I haven't been there.
Oh, you got to go. Food. You ask, and what you do, you ask they're the old-fashioned Spanish waiters with a sash, and you ask them what's good, and they will tell you. And so try it out.
Have you been to Balafia?
No, I don't know that. Where's that?
Balafia is Lane's favourite, and mine. And then everyone, we take this. It's virtually farm to table. It's meat. There's only rabbit, lamb, entrecote, and chicken, and chips and tomatoes, salad.
The old style. It's like a little bit the old style.
Yeah.
Like you go to the fish restaurant and you're just going to get the fish of the day. But yeah, the same style though.
It's in the middle of the island.
San Rafael, no?
Well, no. near it, but it's you don't see it. This is why it's a hidden gem. It's parked way off the little road that look, unless you are taken there, you don't know about it.
Right. I don't know.
Would that be your favourite restaurant on the island?
It's one of them.
Yeah. Have you been to Javier's Casamaca?
Yeah.
I never forget. I asked him for a table. He said, and I was having a meeting, a business meeting, and I said, "Get me a table at Casamaca." He said, "It's full all season." I said, "Get me a table at Casamaca." "You sure you want to go?" I said, "Yeah." So he got me a taxi. He put us right next to the DJ. It's lovely. Me and my mate, and luckily my mate was a multi-millionaire out there doing a bit of business. Right, so it's quite funny.
Wow.
So I said to my mate Wayne Stubbs, I said, "Wayne, you order." So we had one bottle of wine, and he ordered the Wagyu, didn't he? And so and we had like a little bit of something with it, no dessert. €800,
Yeah.
€400 each.
Yeah.
No starter, one bottle of wine, and the Wagyu. I mean, but it was fabulous. But that whole thing where you're in the stars, you look, Ibiza town is the backdrop. Fantastic. It is still fantastic.
And that's partly what
you wouldn't do it every night, but it's one of those one-off.
treat.
It's a treat, yeah. Yeah, I love that. But Javier's done some good stuff like that on the island, hasn't he?
Oh, for sure.
He sort of took it upon himself to turn San Antonio upmarket.
Yeah, he has. And you still got Cafe Del Mar.
Still got Cafe Del Mar, yeah. That's the original. I remember.
It's the original.
I started going in 1980, so I used to go to Cafe Del Mar when there was 10 people there.
Yeah.
And it's where you used to. I met my friend the German Kelly on used to buy a bit of puff off him back in the mid 80s, that kind of stuff, before all the mad drug scene started.
Yeah.
I remember going to Es Paradis with no roof. I remember going to Coup with no roof. It's fantastic. I mean,
Amnesia.
Yeah.
What's happened to Es Paradis now?
Well, I see Pepe in April. Funny enough, I had a chat with him. They're still doing parties. Clockwork did a daytime party there recently because he opens the roof and it's daytime and it's still the most beautiful club in the world. Don't care what anyone says.
They changed the decor.
No, it's still an amphitheatre. It's still white. He's got but it's evolved a bit. But what I love about Pepe, he built that himself.
Right.
He built that himself. And when they made him put a roof on it, he could have put a roof on for a couple of 100,000. Well, he spent 750,000 so the sun could get to the plants and the trees.
Yeah.
That's how passionate he is about his club. And I want to talk to Pepe about that. When I give him his award for his Paradis, I mean his passion for that club is wonderful, and he's literally built it with his bare hands.
Yeah. Crazy, yeah.
So Paul, where's your favourite place to stay lastly? Where would you go and stay?
Over the years we've been kind of renting houses, but to stay, look, I mean, to get the spirit and energy of that island within a few days, just go to Pikes.
Pikes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat it. You're in the middle of it all. There's so much history there, and it's just there is no other hotel like that. And you drift through
especially the early days. There was nothing else. So I mean, it was the nice
boutique hotel.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did.
He was before Ian Schrager and the Royalton and that whole New York boutique hotel, which came out of after Studio 54. Ian Schrager, who owned that, opened a hotel called the Royalton, and it was the first red rope at a hotel. Pikes was before that.
Yeah.
Pikes was when, the story. I mean, I didn't go, but we all know the Freddie Mercury story. His birthday there. You just walk into that hotel and see all the pictures on the wall of all the famous people stayed there. Yeah. When I first went there, they gave me a card like you've got yours, and it would get me into every club free.
Yeah.
And I would have that like a credit card.
Yeah.
And because you're staying at
there was only two other places like upmarket, I would say. You had the Victoria, which is a Swedish family owned, up the back of back of San Antonio, in not the Pike side, the other side, the bay. And that was sort of classy and a little bit more expensive. And the other one was the Hacienda, which was miles away up the north of the island. And they were the only three places that were sort of basically upmarket, weren't they?
Yeah.
But Pikes was definitely stood out because of the rock and roll side of it.
Yeah, for sure. It really was a rock and roll hotel.
It was.
Still is, I suppose.
So why we're here today, Paul, is to award you and induct you into the Hall of Fame for Ibiza. So I'm going to do that right now.
Thank you very much. Is that how you do it? Is it?
Yeah. So this is Paul's token for being inducted to the Hall of Fame, and he is our first superstar DJ to get one. Thank you very much, young man.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Wonderful. Local club and dance.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. Woo.
All right, so I think that's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you everyone for listening in, and don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all platforms. Thank you very much. See you next time.